Hello, good evening. What's going on, everybody? Another John D. Villarreal show here. This is an interesting one right now. A lot to talk about as usual. We're going to cover a lot of ground. I do not know how long I'm gonna be doing a show tonight. But like I said, there's a lot to talk about here. I'm happy to take the comments on YouTube. I can get those live right over here and I can respond to them. I will try to also have Facebook and LinkedIn open and be able to talk to, respond to those comments in real time as well. Although that's a little bit harder, so I can't totally promise that. Let me see if I can at least just try to open that up here to do that in real time. It's a little bit harder. So listen, there's not a real super plan for the show. I know we're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to talk about sort of what's going on with me, sort of what the latest is. We're also going to talk about I'm a free agent now, sort of. I'm pretty sure. I mean, we'll get into that. Not in total depth, but in substantial depth anyway. And what I've been working on, what I'm looking to do, sort of what's going on. We're also going to talk about the world out there, what's happening with that. I don't want to, I may have to do two different shows tonight, so I don't want to put too much into one show. And like I said, there's no super plan here. So here's the deal. It's probably easiest to kind of set the table of what the global strategic vision is, or I don't know what's the right word. State of play is for me and has been for the last, let's say, couple years. So my wife and I, and she's amazing. Oh, by the way, I do want to have a little point of personal order here. Really happy, proud moment today. My wife actually, she won't let me show it. And I understand, that's fine. But she actually got her voter card today, which is amazing. Super proud of her. She is a U.S. citizen, so that's fantastic. In my household, we talk about politics all the time, and she could imagine. So that's pretty cool. So very proud of Salma. That's awesome. At some point, maybe, who knows? Maybe she might get in here, and my daughter might get in here at some point. My daughter's tired. She's sleeping after dance practice. So anyway, here's the deal. So I'm a free agent, okay? And the state of play is like this. We've identified Sarasota County as sort of a place in Florida that we want to live for probably, hopefully, my daughter's school. So that was always sort of the gravitational pull. I need to be down there sometime between the summer and, let's say, just November probably of this year. So that was always sort of in the mix and what was going to be happening. Most likely, barring some, something. Well, who knows? So let me put it out there. There's a gifted magnet school down there that's amazing, and if my daughter tests anything close to like I did, which I suspect she might, right? And my wife's very brilliant too. And I don't want to get too distracted in this. Then that's in a phenomenal school, literally one of the best in the country, and also specialized for gifted children. So there's a lot of reasons to be down there. But even if that doesn't, let's say that she doesn't get in, and again, no pressure. That school district is phenomenal, and you can check it out on your own. I mean, just really strong. So that was always kind of the plan, and we like it, and it's nice, and great beaches, and Siesta Key, and there's a lot of great things down there, okay? So that was always kind of the plan. And I heard from a group that I had worked with a number of times, and they're phenomenal. Love them. Love the ownership and the executive leadership, and they're great, and they know what I do and what I've done and what I'm all about. And sometimes, and I'm not saying this is, let me table that here. First of all, everything I'm saying is all my personal opinion, only knowledge, and in fact, not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purposes only. Please check all those disclaimers. But it's funny because people will know. This is going to sound really, I don't know. I'm sure, well, anyway, all I do, listen, I'm authentic. I just lay it out straight, and I speak from the heart, and that's all that I can do. That's how I am. Sometimes people forget, literally how good I am. And I'm not saying that anybody did. I'm not speaking of this particular situation, but I'm just saying in general. But then when people see it, it's like, wow. And yeah, and so I think that again, there's no plan for this, and I'm trying to edit myself and be careful about some. So I want to have a good show. So anyway, it's real time and it's live. So I think that the trick for me is to be able to get what I feel that I'm worth, right? I think that, and it just really depends on the industry, obviously, but in general, writ large, plus or minus, I'd say right now for most of the things that I can do, not everything, and it depends, and if I got that great contract, and if it's in a certain industry, and if I worked really hard and applied for 6 months, and then, okay, yeah, maybe it could even be higher, but generally most of what I can do right now, I'd say probably 2 to 5, 2 to 600,000 a year is probably fair market value for me. Could be higher, could be lower, depends on what it is. If I totally hey, I'm going to totally do something different and reinvent myself and I start at the bottom, whatever like that. If I worked really hard and I focus on different things, and we'll talk about some of the industries that I'm looking at, if I'm going to get back into law, am I going to, do that? I've had some different people reach out to me. But anyway, so, it's always hard to get, how do I say this? Let me revise it. It's important to get what your value is. You know what I'm saying? It's important to be paid, what you're worth, in my opinion. And again, I'm not talking about anything specifically. I'm not talking about where I was. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm not talking about where I'm going or what I think I might be doing or anything. I'm just talking in general. And we have these discussions, and there's these different things on LinkedIn, and we can talk about that. I've been talking about some of these things about how, employers are, there's maybe, quiet quitting, quiet hiring, all this different stuff out there. And I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. That's by nature. I like to do my own thing. That's just how I am, and I'm looking at that very, very strongly again. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But so in any event, when I like to connect with people or I'm looking at trying to look at a different opportunity or be with an opportunity, then I'm looking to, how does this, I try to construct things in a way that it's kind of like a partnership, if that makes sense. And so, because I want to be able to do what I do, I always have projects going on the side and things that I'm looking at because I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I want to do my own thing. But also I want to create, and I think this is so important. I think this is a broader point really for everybody, right? What I try to do is I understand myself and I understand my value and I understand how I operate best. So I try to create a space for myself where it's like, okay, I can be an entrepreneur within this space, within an organization. And if I can do that, then I can create the most value and then command the most value. And it's a win-win, right? Everybody wins. If I'm forced into a certain limited role, then that limits the value, that limits the upside, and that's not as fun for me, and it limits the growth, and it limits the learning. I don't like that, right? So in any event, but, I don't want to really talk too much about the previous situation, and I say that in kind of quotes because, technically, I'm on my own right now, so I'm a free agent, right? I love to talk to everybody. I'm willing to talk to everyone. In fact, I need to kind of reach out to our friends. I think they may have been, trying to. I don't know if I misinterpreted this, but I think that maybe they wanted me to meet with the CEO for something on a tech company, and I don't know. I need to. I may have misinterpreted something there, so I need to reach out to them and sort of clarify that. But in any event, listen. Love the company I was with. They're great. Don't want to say too much about. I don't want to say too much about that right now. But I will say that I've had numerous conversations. Don't be surprised if there's some continuing collaborations. Do not be surprised about that, because I think that people, and this is kind of what I was saying before, I think that people understand that the value that, oh, hey, what's up? Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I will tell her that. Absolutely. Thank you. You know, it is exciting. So don't be surprised if there's continuing collaborations, because I think, like I said, that everywhere I've been, I hate absolutes, almost everywhere I've been, right, in the automotive industry, well, let me put it this way. I'm an absolute superstar in the automotive business, period. It's full stop. There's nothing else to say. That's, in my opinion, a fact. That is proven. It doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't matter the location. It doesn't matter the store size. Now, within reason, meaning that like, you know, I can't do what I do if I'm like on a deserted island, you know, with a brand that nobody wants. And okay, so, you know, there's physics to this, right? To business and stuff. But in general, I've been, you know, almost everywhere I've been, salesperson, you know, top salesperson, right? Some places every single month, in my opinion, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, one of the top in the country. You know, I've done everything from VW all the way up to being a manager of Ferrari. I won't say I've done it all, but, you know, I haven't done service, but I've done a lot. And I'm a superstar. I'm a plug and play type of situation. I'm someone you can put in almost any situation in a sales, automotive, whatever, and I will absolutely destroy numbers, break pay plans, just, you know, whatever book you have, whatever records you might have, you may be throwing them out because it's just game over. I'm going to approach that game in a totally different way. I'm going to do what I do. People are not going to understand what I do. They're not going to be like, I'm 5, 7, 10 steps ahead. Like, you don't even understand the game that I'm playing. You don't even understand the playing field or the board that I'm on. Like, you just don't get it. Oh, John, you said that's a flex. You know, I get, yeah, it just is what it is. And so when I say people forget sometimes, it's like when I'm like, sometimes like people, you put me in a situation and maybe this is my you know, speculation, pure speculation. You think, oh yeah, it's this or it's that, or it's, you know, we've got this great system or the great leadership or this or that or whatever. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know. But then, you know, all I know is this: when I'm at some place, when I step in the scene, boom, numbers go up, like explode, right? A lot of times, what I mean. And then if I'm doing something else, you know, almost every time that I've remembered, when I leave that door, when Elvis leaves the building, numbers go down. Sometimes they plummet. Sometimes they bungee jump. And so what is that? What conclusions are you left with? I mean, you know, so if that's the case, then you have to ask yourself, and again, I'm not speaking any specific situation. I'm speaking hypothetically, generically. But this is a very important point that goes way beyond John Villarreal. This is about business. This is about leadership. It's about automotive. It's about sales. It's about all of it, right? This is about the quiet quitting. It's about the economy today. It's about adding value. It's about leadership, entrepreneurship. It's all of it. It's all going to come together. Stay with me. If you have someone or a team, sometimes it's a special team or whatever it is, and if you have someone that has that much impact, that much leadership, those intangibles, it could be on football. We've seen this in football. We've seen this in pro sports. We've seen this in basketball. We've seen this other. What is that person worth? Well, they're worth beyond just even their pure numbers. Or are you getting what is fair compensation, right? And how do you get that value? And how do you create that value? And how do you have those conversations? Well, listen, John, you know, this is the pay plan right here, and this is the job, and if you're a Slurpee maker, and this is what a Slurpee maker pays, and this is what. Okay, a question: what if I'm like making totally different? Like I have a totally different thing. I do the Slurpee stuff. I'm amazing at that. What if I created a whole different product line that now has a line all around the block, and now everybody else is starting to do stuff, and the whole place is getting entrepreneurial and creative, and doing marketing and doing all kinds of different things. What if I've changed the entire game? What is that worth? Well, no, we just pay Slurpee makers this. Okay. What's the growth path for Slurpee makers? Oh, it's this. Okay. What if I just doubled your profits? This is all hypothetical. Right? Everything I'm saying right now, I want to stress that again. I'm not talking about anything specific. I'm talking but I want to get people to think here. We need to think here and have conversations. In that context, you have to say, again, everything is complicated, but everything is simple. You bring it right back down to the simple stuff. Who is moving the needle in your business? Who is adding value? There's so much talk and there's so much smoke and confusion and 3-card Monty, and people talk themselves into circles. They want to believe what they want to believe. Well, this person's a team player, not a team player. They're loyal, they're not loyal. They're a cancer. Oh no, they're this or they're. Listen, are they effective? If I have Steve Jobs, a lot of people say that some people, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I was in the Valley, I was there when Steve Jobs was, head of Apple and everything. I'm not saying I've never met him. I'm not saying, but I know people that work for him. Okay. Again, I don't want to say too much. Some people would say Steve Jobs, maybe not the easiest to work with. Maybe some people might say that, or this or that, or just really driven or demanding or whatever. Brilliant, dude. The dude's brilliant. The dude did stuff that nobody else could have done, that they didn't at least. I mean, never say anything. There's always people out there. Elon Musk. Look at what Elon Musk is doing. I saw something that I don't want to get swerved into this. But I saw this thing like, oh, hey, look at these people. And it was one of these things. It's like, I really don't want to get specific about it, so I'm going to keep it as general as I can. It was one of these things like, hey, look at all these great tech leaders and what's wrong with it was one of these like really left-wing things where it almost felt like, hey, just, give us the money, give us the power. There's something wrong with this picture. That's what it felt like to me. That's my opinion. I'm not alleging anything. Here's the problem with that. The people you're talking to up there, right, wrong, indifferent, whatever, they all, almost, I don't know all of them, but I mean, I know most of the people on that, almost all of them that I know about, they all invented stuff. They all were sucking it up and when, out there in the wilderness as entrepreneurs doing stuff when it wasn't cool, when they weren't on the magazine covers, when they weren't on yachts, they weren't going to parties, they weren't doing crypto stuff, and they weren't getting millions and millions in venture finance early on. They were doing their thing. They were grinding it out. They developed something. They built something. So everything comes back to simple stuff. Can you create value? Elon Musk created value. Steve Jobs created value. These people create value. Or can you invent something? Can you do coding? And now the world's all shifting too. What's happening with AI? Where's it all going to go now? So people just confuse themselves about it's listen, it's great to be a people person. That's awesome. I'm all for it. I don't know. Well, here's the other thing. I don't know how you can be a great leader and not be a people person. That's kind of tough. Now that's a deeper conversation. Because sometimes sometimes there's different types of leadership. That's a whole class. I took a whole class on this. There's different types of leadership. There's different types of motivation. Sometimes you show by doing, sometimes you motivate. Let's just put that aside. But I don't know how it's like, it's like in any sales. Your best salespeople are, of course, they're people person. People don't buy from people they don't like, in general, unless they're like, feel like they have no other option. People don't buy. If you're a top salesperson, you're probably a good people person. Probably, I saw this thing. Brett Sutherland put this thing out there. It's like, and I don't want to get swerved into this. Like, oh, hey, I saw this going. Are introverts or extroverts better at sales? Is that a question? like, sure, I'm all for everybody, like whatever. And it's, I mean, there's always exceptions. That's like saying, like, if you're right brain, are you really better at math? No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things just make sense. If you're effective, you're doing things right. The KPIs are the KPIs. That's it. Right? You made the pay plan. This is the pay plan. This is how we measure success. If you, me, someone else is crushing those KPIs, then you're probably doing something right. However you got there. Like if I have a bunch of people and I'm hiring them for coding, I don't care how, when, why, of course, legally, ethically, morally, they make the code. If the code or the product or insert whatever you want there, right? The film, the YouTube, the TikTok video, whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. If you do, like, you can't impose on greatness your way of doing it because you are, by definition, you are then, greatness is artistry. Okay? True innovation is something different. And we just get so confused and so scared of talent. It's just bizarre. And if people can't get it done, then they can't get it done. I'm sorry. That's what, it's like, I don't make up the KPIs, right? The world makes up the KPIs. And it's, oh, cool. Now we've got all the excuses. Listen, it's all good. It's just, this is what I'm saying. And again, I'm talking totally generically, not specifically. And I'm going to prove that to you because here's how it all comes back to all of this that we've seen in the news. And I don't want to swerve this and make this too political, but I will have to touch on some of this to make some points. It's just like that post I saw on LinkedIn. And I don't want to, as I'm a positive person, I don't call anybody out, but it's like you're showing me these Silicon Valley and technology greats saying, oh, we need to make sure, it's this left-wing cause and it's basically give us the power, give us the money. No, give me technology, give me something innovative, give the market something that it wants, and then you get the money and then you get the power. That's how it works, not the other way around. When you try to impose on reality your values or your moral, like whatever, reality doesn't always, oftentimes pushes back. Things are what they are. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Again, I don't want to get left right here, whatever, but I mean, it's just like, there's a lot of criticism over, in my opinion, what's gone down, and I did a little bit of a show on the whole things that we've seen in the news. A lot of stuff, and I don't want to get into anything specific. And then you look at who's in charge, and look, are they doing a great job? Maybe not. Okay. Did they have experience in that role? No. Okay. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Like I said before, you cannot it wouldn't be a very prudent idea to put John Villarreal in charge of NASA. That wouldn't be a very prudent idea. I have no science. I love science. I love space. I do the very best job. Yes, I'm a super genius, all that. Guess what? Never worked for a government agency before that I can recall at this point. Number one. Number two, not a scientist. Don't have a PhD. Don't have a science degree. Don't have any of that. That's not my deal. You wouldn't put me in the operating room either. So why are we putting it's like, it's man, people have to get real, dude. Like politics, boardrooms, venture capital, technology companies, leadership. You have to be able, this isn't a kumbaya, like, let's, whatever, party. Like people, you got to deliver. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be cool. That doesn't mean like you mean because both things are true. You want to be able to work. Being a leader, in my opinion, is being capable and having an extremely high level of competence and being able to deliver that consistently, to lead, to show by doing, to lead the team, right? To be that player coach. And also crucially, to be able to get the most out of people and the best out of people. Now, that may be, hey, on someone's birthday, we have a birthday party or whatever we're going to do. Or that may mean, hey, I'm the toughest wrestling coach you're ever going to have, but I'm going to make you the best wrestler you've ever been. Whatever it is, right? I mean, we all remember back like, hey, I didn't like this class. This class was hard, but man, I was the best teacher now, or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's different styles. I'm not here to say one style is right. I mean, and we're having this conversation now about, is it about the grind or is it about empathy? Is it about servant leadership? There's all these different things. But the bottom line is, whatever that is, whatever that mix is, because I think it's different for different industries. I don't have all the answers for everybody in every industry. I think it's different for different industries. I think it's different for different people. Different people have different ways of going about it and different ways. But this is why I'm saying it. It's complicated, but it's darn simple. Are you getting the most out of your team? That's not by your definition. That's by their definition. And more importantly, that's by the definition of what the KPIs. If the metrics are down, if they're down substantially, that's a bad thing. If there's massive turnover, that's a terrible thing. If there's not growth, if you're not crushing your KPIs, if you're not attracting top talent, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with the pay plan. Maybe there's something wrong with leadership. Who knows, right? Insert here. But you got to figure this out, especially going into recession. I mean, it's what I'm saying, like, people just talk themselves in all kinds of just silliness. And I don't get it. And it's just like, and this is something that I've faced my entire life. This is what Steve Jobs said it. A players don't like to work with B and C players. That's Steve Jobs, it's not me. I'm saying so many different things here, and I'm kind of getting a little bit askew from the topic here. But this all relates. Like we're coming out of it. But I think East Palestine, a lot of these things have just really, I think now people are starting to see some things like, wait a minute. I mean, and I'll refer you to, there's a powerful testimony from a gentleman affected to the Norfolk Southern, I believe that's right, CEO. I think it was on CNN. I mean, I'll try to link that. That's powerful. And, we've been in this zone where it's like, well, we want the world to be like this, and we're just going to try to do this. It's like, dude, I can't just say I want to play in the NBA and expect they're gonna hire me on. It's not going to work. Okay, enough about that. Let's shift gears. Let's get back to this. So what I'm saying is, the whole point is, look, you, for yourself, where I think the opportunity is, because I always like to look at the positive, I always like to look forward. Where I think the shift and the opportunity is number one, know your worth. Know what you're good at, know what you like, know where you add the most value. If you wanted to make if you want to make money, I'm not giving any advice, financial or otherwise, but if you want to make money, you have to know where your value is. And then you have to demand that value. You have every right to demand that value. Because if you're bringing in $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever it is, $500,000, then you have every right to get your share of that money. Absolutely. Particularly when the substitutes, the alternatives, are not so great, to what you're bringing to the table, or maybe not as, or whatever, or just different, or it doesn't even matter in a lot of ways. Like if you can bring in an incremental $5 million, you need to be paid up for that because it's an incremental $5 million. And do not get talked into, any kind of silliness that doesn't get you your value because it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're there, you're bringing that hypothetical 5 million. If you're not there, that 5 million is gone. So what is it really worth? Along with whatever else that you can bring to the table. That's number one. Number two is understand what you're trying to do and what your strategic value is. So for me, it's like, okay, we were shifting down to Sarasota. And that's where we're trying to be. Because I think that's where it's going to be best for the family and best for my daughter. And that's the other thing is understand what your priorities are. And I think everyone's been looking at this now for the pandemic and everything like that. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like I can work a lot of places. If I need to sweep the floors somewhere, I'll sweep the floors. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? But I have a responsibility and I have an absolute burning, desire to make sure my daughter's in the best situation possible. That is my job as a father and a husband. So that's job number one. So whatever it is, if I got to be in an igloo, if I got to be in a straw hut, if I got to, dig clams on the beach, if I got to be whatever it is, I'm going to take care of my daughter. So that's it, and it's like, particularly like, well, I don't want to go down that road. Because I'm trying to keep this, okay. Number two is, okay, so what am I doing? What am I looking at? Look, I think, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the next move is, but I think I got to a point where, I know how, the problem is sometimes, really, but this is everybody knows themselves, but also, being a super genius, whatever, and just being, a superstar or whatever is, my daughter's coming in here. She may appear here. How you doing, Janaire? We love you. Okay, I love you anyway. I know better than, she's fine. It doesn't matter. I know, what does she need? The phone. Okay, there you go. All right, my daughter wants my phone. She's going to play games or learn or do something. I know myself. I know what I'm doing. I know what's best for me. Okay, I'm not able to phrase this quite right. This isn't going to be perfect. I know better than you do what's best for me. I know better than you do how to get the most out of me. I know better than you do what I'm trying to do. And most of the times, and it sounds like this is going to sound a little bit, I don't know, bad, I guess. But I'm used to be the smartest person in the room. Sometimes by a lot. And it's not a contest. And it's not a flex. But you have to recognize what the dynamic is. Again, Steve Jobs, other people, Gary Vee, Patrick Bet-David, you hire people, they've said they hire people that are smarter than them, they let them do their thing. So you want to be in a situation, this is what I'm saying, you need to put yourself in a situation where you can win for you and the greater organization, right? If you're not happy, you're not getting the money, you're whatever it is, then, it's not the most productive for anybody. Does that make sense? Right? So that's no diss on anybody else or whatnot. I know what I know and I know what I don't. I'll be the first to admit I'm terrible at tons of stuff. And that's why I don't try, I went to see the doctor today, whatever. Okay, my wife's a medical professional for Israel, stuff like that. If I listen to her or I listen to what the doctor says. I don't try to be my own dentist. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is I looked at I said, okay, listen, where am I going now? What do I want to do? Am I on track for my strategic goals and stuff? And I'm not afraid to take some risk, right? I'm not afraid to throw the dice and see what's up. Because I like to bet on myself because I know what I can do. And all the hemming and the hawing is that, listen, somebody needs a superstar, somebody needs a winner. So especially now, like when times are really great and the money's flowing, oh yeah, we like this person, we don't like that person, or this is our good cause, that's our good cause. And when times are tough, it's like, oh, give me a winner. I need talent now. Stat. We need to win this game. Who wants to win? Who's tired of losing? Who's tired of losing? Show me some people that are tired of losing. Who wants to win? And I want to win in life. And there's different definitions of winning in life. And I don't judge anybody. If your dream is to sail the world and do all that, then if you go do that, gosh, God bless you. That's fantastic. I have nothing, nobody has the right to it's your life. Nobody has the right to dictate what you do with your life, or what's right, or what success is, or what, like that's not, no, so anyway, I knew it was going to be an interesting show, but we're covering the practical, we come to the philosophical. Okay. So let's talk about what I'm looking at. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, first of all, like I said, I'll say it again. Love the organization that I came from. May have more to say later. We'll see. Don't be surprised if there's been 3 chapters. Don't be surprised if there's a 4th, or some kind of collaboration, or some kind of something, or whatever. What was great about, and I really appreciate, the leadership there is that I had some room to maneuver there, and I was able to show some of what I could do. There's so much more that I could do. That's what's so scary about me in this industry. And that's like, and when people saw, like, whoa, what was that? Wow, we didn't know you could do that. Yeah, absolutely. We didn't know that would work. Yes. What about, that's level 2 or 3. I've got 10 plus levels or more. I'm creating new levels all the time. And then it's like, okay, cool. So look, all I know is this. I'm a free agent. I need to be in Sarasota. I need to be living in Sarasota County. I need to be a Sarasota County resident sometime between now, really, but more like, because we probably want to finish school, more like summer to December. So somewhere in there. But I can commute all kinds of places. Or if I need to post up some, if the offers are strong enough, well, listen, I'm flexible. Money talks. Growth talks. Opportunity talks. Entrepreneurship talks. If you want me to step up, if you want a superstar, holler at me and let's have a conversation. If you're looking for a true superstar, holler at me and let's have a conversation. But, understand that it's going to have to make sense to me. I'm going to want what I'm worth. I'm looking at a lot of different things. I'm going to play that out in a second. I've talked to people about, tech stuff and getting back into that. I've had someone call me just today. Hey, we want you back in automotive, and here's this. We got this thing. What about coming over here and doing this? Someone hollered me out today. You know what I mean? I've got my buddy Jerry Raymond up there doing great things up north and buying dealerships and expanding, Jerry Raymond Automotive. We got that going on. I've got conversations happening. I've even started to look. I've had a daughter that's been sick. Who knows? I have no idea. I might be homeless in 6 months. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, I think I've had conversations about getting back into law and passing the Florida bar. Now, so the constraints that I have and so here's the good and the bad. I think there's a lot of cases to be made for me, looking at the Florida bar, passing that, maybe even starting my own law firm here. I've had some different conversations from some people that have, I know from top law schools and stuff like that. And some businesses I've been talking about, and I'm very likely to launch a digital marketing company. I think that makes all the sense in the world. We've talked about that. I'm down the road. I'm almost halfway or maybe more done with my first online course I'm going to be launching. I'm going to be doing that. I've been putting time into that. And Salma looked it over and was like, oh, this is really good. Well, yeah, absolutely. So we've got that going on. I'm going to talk about a lot of that in here in a second. Give me another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The deal is, there's always been a big thing, Cloud. I don't want to say it that way. there's always been a concern that I've had, a responsibility, that's a better way to put it, a responsibility that I've had to take care of my wife, Salma. My wife, Salma, was an absolute superstar over in Israel as a physician. I mean, I'm talking top. This is all my personal opinion. She was at Sheba Tel Shamir, which is one of the top 10 hospitals, or definitely one of the top hospitals in the world. You don't believe me? Look it up, right? And she, I think, scored top in the country, tied with someone else. They gave her anything that she wanted. She was going to get a huge amount of money just to finish her residency. Huge amount of money. And then she met me, came over. And it's been a struggle for her to get medical residency. And that has been like driving the family now for 7-10 years, right? That's what brought us to Hopkins and all that type of stuff. Okay. So, I'm someone that if you pay me enough, I'll sweep the floor. I'll do, it doesn't matter. Like, there's things I like better than others, obviously, and I want to have my own business and everything. You put me in the right role in the right organization, and we can do amazing things. There's no doubt about it. And I'm a visionary and all that. But I'm at a point in my career, in my life, where I'm also looking at lifestyle too. But for Salma, she's all about, I want to be, I'm all about healthcare, and that's my calling, and that's what God put me on. Okay, and I understand that, and I have to respect that, and I respect that. So I have to help my wife, and that's what I've been doing. So she has some different opportunities that she's looking at right now, and I've been helping her. She is an absolute superstar in what she does. She's got publications in her name, honors in both of her degrees at Johns Hopkins, stuff like that. I mean, she's crushed it, right? But she's not the best at selling herself, not the best at marketing herself, and not the best at networking. And so I've been helping her, with some of that, and we've been getting it. I think, without getting specific, because she doesn't like me talking about herself, there's opportunities, but I think we have a pathway now, a clear pathway for her, which is, thank the Lord. Like, it's there. Like, I see it. That is going to be the medium to longer term. And that is, I think there's a zone there that's going to be clear 6 figures for her, like heavy 6 figures. Like, it should be, if everything goes right, she should be doing like $250,000 to $500,000 plus. Probably let's call it 200 to 400 is probably where she's going to land. Hopefully in 2 or 3 years, and maybe even shorter than that. But we have to get there. So I've got to handle the short to medium term, as a minimum. What makes sense for me? I don't know. I'm looking at different things. I've reached out to a couple people who are here. Do I launch a digital marketing agency full blast? Do I have collaborations? Do I go back in the auto game? Do I study for the bar and just open up my own law firm? So the problem with that is, if we have to move for Salma's thing a year and a half from now or something like that, or whatever, and I might get in. I don't want to say too much about that. Does it make sense to do that? I don't know. I think I have to have some conversations. I'm going to have some conversations with some people, and we're going to look at that. I'm looking at that when some of my buddies that are lawyers back in one of them in particular in Cali. If there's a pathway there, then I'll probably just smash that in July and get that going. The radio show, we're looking to do that as well. That's a little bit of a pause here. I'm getting the sponsorship stuff lined up on that, and just getting a couple things that are lined up on that, and that I'm all for that. And I definitely appreciate, the ownership there and everything, and full respect. And I'm very excited about that. But that's like, there's orders of operation here, right? And that's not the absolute. I got to handle this other stuff first. And I had to handle a sick child in that last week plus. So I don't have that figured out yet. I have to, most likely I'm going to look at all those things, and everything's on the table, but just for the very short term, it probably makes them, maybe longer term, maybe very long term. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at, like, it may make sense for me it probably makes sense for me to go back into automotive. I can easily, because I can just crush that. And I don't have to think about that. As long as I can get the right deal, and as long as, I have to do what I have to do too. I got to take it for everybody. But as long as, but that becomes more interesting to me if I have the right deal, and that becomes more interesting to me if it's the right strategic play, and I can get myself enough time and freedom to be able to work on this other stuff, which I'm going to talk about now. So I'm going to conduct I've been doing it very, very light, and people that found out that I was free, have been hitting me up too. I haven't even put that. This is the first public real announcement I've done on it. I'm going to have I've been doing very, very light discussions, and it might be that I may not be, who knows? Don't be surprised if there's, more collaborations. I'm free for now. I may not be free that much longer. I don't know. We'll figure it out. There may be a boomerang effect here. I don't know. We'll see. But, I'm looking at a bunch of other stuff as well. So whatever that career path, that job thing, whatever that's going to be here. What I have been doing too is some deep, deep research, some extensive research. There's been things I've been working on a slow boil, slow burner, back burner, whatever like that. The problem that is that, I was putting so much time into stuff, working just so many hours that I was doing other stuff too, but I didn't have time to really do this other stuff that I've been wanting to do. Online courses, I'll talk about that because I have that almost half done. Okay. So, and it's going to be good. We'll see. I don't want to overpromise anything like that, but I've got almost all the material it's very, very extensive. I'm going to be launching communications because it's going to be very, very hard. Show me someone out there that understands digital, that understands public speaking, that understands events, that understands broadcasts, all the different broadcasts, that understands all these different things like I do, has done it. I think it'd be hard pressed to find that person, right? And so it's under wraps right now, but it's going to be good. And this is the way I'm gearing these things. It's news you can use. It's things that you can use. Again, no promises, no commitments, no claims, but it's like I'm trying to gear things that it's not just academic. I've got that academic spin on it too. We have, that kind of, I've done the research, but it's also like, if you're a business owner or you're a job, whatever, I don't want to spoil the movie here, so to speak, but it's going to be something where, hey, we're going to get deep, but we're also going to be actionable. What can you do right now? How can you use this right now to move the needle in all kinds of different ways? And I think it might surprise you on how awesome, well, potentially awesome this is going to be, right? And how many things I'm going to cover. But like going over it, like I have like 18 different topics, literally, right? So thereabouts, around 18, right? I've got to get the count up there, and I don't want to do it right now. It doesn't really matter. A lot, right? And so it's like, okay, well, that's a lot for like one course. Like that's might be a little too much there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm breaking it into different sections. Okay, here's like the starter kit, right? That's going to be like if you're a business and you want to, this is like boom, that piece of it. Depending if we throw another chapter or two, it's pretty much done. That will be done tonight, right? And I've been really getting on that, really, really working hard on that to get it done. Then I have to do, so I've gotten all the written stuff. Then I have to, do the videos. That won't take me too long to do the videos on that and work through it. And then I'm going to have different components, probably have some like live components. We're going to do some different things. I got to figure out pricing, I got to figure out all that. So that's almost done. I need to get that done. Once that's done, then that's kind of like a major thing. And I was never going to be able to get that done while I was just grinding out 6-7 days a week. It just wasn't going to happen to the quality level and the speed that I wanted it. So that's almost done. And I have all kinds of other ideas, sales, all kinds of other ideas. I'm only mentioning those two. Those are the ones I've already thought about, but there's so many more things. Because here's the thing. This is the Super Genius Academy, right? That's what I've been talking about. And it's not, again, not a flex. It's a fun name. But it's obviously literally true, whatever, but in my opinion. But I showed you the results and you can see that. That's, it's there. There's facts, right? Again, like I always say, like listen, I love to promote, but I'm not a liar. But anyway, it's what I think people want and what I think people need are things that work. It all goes full circle. People want things that move the needle and they're going to help them. People want things that are going to improve their lives. People want things that are, especially when times are tough. When times are great, you can afford to, do all kinds of stuff. When times are tough, you need things that work. So I want to do my part of this is, yes, I want to be successful and I want to be financially secure for my family, and of course. But a lot of this, and you can ask anyone that's known me, my family, like my whole life, I've been blessed with gifts, and I want to give those to the world. I want to help people. I want to empower you to get things done. I want to help see, this is the thing, Gary Vee, and we think alike of this. There's so many people that are one entrepreneurs, or it's cool to be a VC, or it's a flex. I love the game. I love to help businesses. I love to sell. I love to market. I love to communicate. I love to, to get it done. I love to make things happen. I love to help people. So that's where I want to orient my life. I want to be around positivity. I want to be around people that want to unleash me. I want to be around people that want to do amazing things. I want to be around people that think differently, think outside the box. I want to be around people that want to win, that aren't focused on who wins, but just winning. Because it's hard to win if you care too much about who wins. Hypothetically, generically, right? And that's what I'm talking about. We are in this space right now where, and we're coming out of it, and we see leadership from, again, I don't want to get super political, but you see, why is everybody coming to Florida? Because this state's open for business, because it's the freedom state, because we've got leadership from Governor DeSantis and stuff, right? And people are tired. I mean, listen, equality of opportunity, freedom, love, opportunity, for everybody, obviously, liberty, all those things. But when you get so focused on kumbaya and who wins and this and that, whatever, then pretty soon you're not winning, because you're not looking at what the KPIs. Now, that has nothing. Now, opportunity, mentoring, training, I'm down for all that. My whole family's been oriented towards charity and doing different things. And again, you just look at my LinkedIn profile. I don't want to sit here and drop everything. I'm down for all of that. But we need to get real. We need to have a situation where people talk about Gen Y, millennials, all they don't want. They want to live a life where they're not. I'm not speaking for anyone. I'm not making generic. It doesn't matter. I think people now, the pandemic, I think people want to be in a situation where they can achieve success, but they can also be a human being and live life on their terms. You have to work with people. You have to do different things. Again, I said the same thing. I used to train world-class professional athletes, Olympic level athletes and stuff like that. And again, I can give most people routine in certain sectors. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know how to train a marathoner, as I probably don't, right? But on the weights I do, right? But anyway, I don't want to get distracted with that. But the point is that if let's say someone playing football, powerlifting, different, whatever, I can take my routine that I've curated and perfected and stuff, from the greats and everything, great powerlifters, great athletes and all these things, and my own research and other research and scientists. And I can give it to people, and it's probably going to get you 70, 80, 90% of the way there. But particularly when you're dealing with top talent and top elite stuff, you're going to have to customize that program and continue to maneuver to be able to get that elite 95, 100, 10%, if you will, result. Because what happens if, the athlete gets hurt? Oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, this, whatever. I'm trading altitude now. All kinds of things happen. You have to be able to adjust. And I think that it's the same thing in business. It's really, everyone says they want to be Silicon Valley, and very few people understand how to be Silicon Valley. They say they understand, but they don't understand. And almost nobody, well, by definition, nobody else is, really implement it to that scale because there's nothing else in the world. There is no other hub in the world like Silicon Valley. Well, that's just because, no, dude, Silicon Valley's been around like 50 years in a serious way, maybe plus or minus whatever. Give me a break. Now, I mean, but there's an interesting sector that you've seen right now. Look at Dubai. Look at what's going on with Dubai. Dubai, hey, we're open for business. We want the whole world here. We're going to try some different things. Hey, we're not going to worry. I mean, so let's go. That's what it is. Let's go. Let's let you be you. Hey, Larry Wheels, you want to come over to Dubai and do a bunch of crazy videos and do some stuff? We want that. Hey, we want to do arm wrestling tournaments? Yeah, we want that. Hey, we're going to pay up for this. Hey, you want to do technology here? Yeah, we want to do that. Hey, you want to do drones, Web3? Let's go. Dubai is super interesting. Are you static or are you dynamic? Are you trying as a leadership to tell everybody what's going on? Or are you trying to let people, what did I say? Leadership. Showing, doing competency, and unlocking the talent and the best out of your people. Whatever that is. And if you've got a superstar, guess what? You got to let the superstar run. We used to have horses when I was a kid. My mom loved horses and stuff, and one of my nieces was the national level rider and stuff for her level or whatever. I don't pretend to know all the different levels and stuff. If you've got Secretariat, you don't put Secretariat to pasture, you let Secretariat run. You don't understand what I'm saying? So you gosh. And this is what I'm saying, like here's the thing, full disclosure. Or some place, like if I was at a white shoe law firm or something like that, they don't want it. They don't want me to do this. They don't want to hear, this guy's like, oh, he's not our court. And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Then I'm not. You might be right. We're in a different world now. Like that world of I put on my suit or my business attire, and now I'm this, and I have to act this way, and I can't. I'm not even a human being. Do you need to eat or drink? No, I'm a super lawyer. Okay, that's not real. People don't want that. Same thing with politics. I mean, we'll have a whole thing on politics. Why do you think like that's a whole other thing too? If you look at what's happening, the people. Oh, I don't want to say it because this is about we'll deal with the politics later. I think it's so funny because be careful what you wish for, because the thing of it is when authenticity is the currency right now, and it's always because people want real. People are tired of not seeing real. And again, you look at the news events. So the good news is this. The bad news for myself is this. I'm going to have to scramble and figure out what's next and figure out what I want to do, and hopefully get a great situation, get paid a lot for it, and be able to add way more value, and everybody wins, and it's going to be great. And I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at tech. I'm looking at VC. Probably not so much VC right now, just because I think the markets are tough and everything. But probably I'm definitely looking at tech. I'm definitely looking at possibly law and maybe sitting for the Florida bar. Automotive, of course. I'm definitely looking at that. Looking at digital marketing. But I have a slew of business stuff and a plan lined up. First this, then this, then this, then this. And these things are going to synergize together. A lot of it's going to be some online stuff. A lot of it's digital. Everything I've talked about is all coming. I'm going to try to all come around to make it all work together. So I've always had a plan. When I put something out, it's not a flex. It's not a brag. It's not a line for it's because I think I'm going to do it, and it's a plan, and it's real. I'm trying to make it real. Let me revise it, extend. Some things work, some things don't. But the things I'm looking at, it's like, yes, this is the first step, and this is the next step, and this is the next step, and this is the next step. This is how this goes with this, and this goes with that, and blah, 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 blah. Not unlike what I've already shown in previous situations, right? Yeah, if you let me do a bunch of, digital videos, that all works. And this is how it works, and this is how it's going to work for this. And guess what? It worked. Okay, in my opinion, it worked really well. And I went in and did things that people didn't think could be done. And the store was one of the top in the country almost immediately. And guess who was number one leading the charge, in my opinion? Right here. Did I have a book of business? No. Was I being, did I have a bunch of insert everything else? I've done it everywhere. No book of business, no help from the desk. Didn't know anyone there. Sometimes didn't know the brand. Doesn't matter. I will figure it out. I will become a subject matter expert. Why? Because I'm a professional. I'm elite. And I'm going to bring that somewhere. But part of this contemplation, part of this thought process is, hey, John, you've been an entrepreneur almost all your life. You want to get the most value. You want someone that understands you. You probably have to work for yourself at some point. Unless you have someone that understands and is ready to step up and make the right deal. And we'll see. Everything in life is a negotiation. What you negotiate with yourself every day. Hey, am I going to go to the gym or am I not? Am I going to do the studying or am I going to not? Am I going to work on this thing or am I not? Am I going to eat this, thing that's off the diet or not? So, it's willpower, it's negotiation. I'm excited though, honestly, because you never know where it's going to land. I'm very, very, first of all, I want to thank everybody. The bridges are good. I like to hope believes that. Bridges are good. I'm going to have a conversation. Like I said, love the group, love the leadership. And I'm glad I was able to help. I'm glad I had the opportunity. I may have more to say on that later. We'll see. And we'll see. I wish everybody the best. Man. I'm a positive person by nature. I'm a positive person. I don't like, I live my life on positivity. I'll say it like it is. I'll have something to say. But in the end of the day, I'm super positive. I want to be around positivity. I don't want to be around negativity. I don't want to be around people telling me what I can't do. I don't listen to that. Right? I know what I can do and I know what I can't do. I guarantee I know better than you do. And I'm going to do dramatic things because I've always done dramatic things. You Google my name right now, you're going to find millions of hits. Some of it's fake. If gosh forbid, John Villarreal, my life ends tonight or tomorrow, I've done more in my lifetime than most people would do in 5 lifetimes. And that's a fact. And I'm still going. I'm not done yet. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's get crazy. Let's step it up. People want real stuff. We live in a situation now, genetic engineering, AI, disruption, electric cars, self-driving. You have to totally change the game. You have to do things that are crazy and you have to figure out how to step things up. How do you add value? And I got to tell you, you need creative people. You need winners. Some of this AI stuff, it's cool. And some of it's like, I can tell it's written by AI and it's terrible. So again, that's a whole different conversation. But, what I'm going to do right now is it's the end of the month and everything like that. And I still have to I've got to help my wife. I got to close out a couple things on that and help make sure she's got herself locked in and everything on what she's doing. And I also want to finish this first course. Or at least get it pretty much together. Once I'm down to just shooting videos, something that's no problem for me. It takes time, but that's I can do that, obviously. And then figure out when I'm launching that. I've got to make a decision about and how to launch the digital marketing company. That's probably going to be on tap here pretty soon. But a part of it is I'm kind of like that in the radio show. I'm kind of figuring out finalizing some sort of discussions, negotiations, and all that. So I kind of have to circle back with some people on both of those to figure out exactly, where they're at. But those are both the marketing agencies pretty likely. I'd say I would put that at the courses at this point with the work I put in. I'm going to put that at well over 50% probability that's happening pretty soon. I'd say that's somewhere in between 50 to 80% likely plus. The digital marketing agency, I'd probably put that in, a 60, 70%, 50 to 70% kind of range. And but those things kind of go together. Again, these are I do things that are synergistic. So it's not like if I'm taking on more things, it's to improve things and to supercharge things. Where I land next And part of that is some negotiations and where I land next. I'm going to have those conversations probably early. I'm going to talk to some people more formally now. I'm going to have some conversations that are going to happen pretty early next month. I'm going to go down to Sarasota. In the county. We're going to talk to some different people. We're going to see what's what. We're going to figure it out. And we'll TBD, right? And then these other things, once I have those main things in place, agency launched, not launched, courses launched, not launched. Likely, I think they're more likely than not that both those things are going to happen. Main job figured out. Okay, those things are secured. Samo's already going, everything like that. We get the family down to Sarasota. I can work from everywhere. I can post up remote somewhere. It doesn't, I can, whatever. If I need to be in one city or another city, we'll figure it out. Then I start looking strategically, knocking down these other things. What are these other things? I'm not going to get into everything right now, but I've done some deep research, and they're going to be businesses. I'm going to ramp up the YouTube stuff. I've been doing well with that. I'm seeing the metrics, and that's going to be even more. I'm going to start doing more business stuff. I'm going to start doing more consulting stuff. I'm probably going to get into real estate. I'm not going to talk about everything. There's things that I'm looking at. I'm getting back into entrepreneurship. I'm getting back into ownership. Okay. I'm going to start doing some stuff. I'm making those moves. And in some ways, I'm kind of like not happy with myself. I'm kind of a little bit personally disappointed with myself in a little bit. Because when I am and I'm not. Because nobody can do everything and nobody shoots 100%. And nobody can, whatever. But I used to make ridiculous money in Silicon Valley and stuff. And I used to just do and my wife is not... I've always been very successful at companies. There's very few companies that I've started, and I started a lot of them, where they weren't profitable within 6 months or less. And I've shown that. I showed that with America's Venture Capital. Everybody said I couldn't do what I did, and I did it. And I don't want to recall that. I've said that. Bottom line is, everyone was saying I couldn't do it this way. John, you have to spend more money. John, you're going to lose some money. John, you can't do it this way. John, it's going to take too long. No. I did it real quick. Had a great team too. Absolutely right. And I want to thank the team for sure. Absolutely, in partnerships, and there's no question. But we did it. We did it. But make no mistake, I led the team. Okay, let's be clear about that. And it was my vision. And after, in my opinion, and after that, but a lot of help from partnerships, and I appreciate them, and they're dear friends, and there's no question about it. And we did it. But afterwards, people are like, oh wow, that also must make sense. Do you know how many people wanted me to do their events after that? And then of course we had the pandemic and everything like that. The point of it is it's not a flex. Sometimes you got to get back to what you do. Sometimes you have to remember who you are. Some people will try to confuse you as to who you are. Sometimes you got to remember who you are. So this is what I'm talking about. In some weird way, this may also, I may take you on a journey with me for you to show everybody what they can do. And help you unlock the value in your life. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, your age. All those things, everybody has their own story, everybody has their own skills, everybody has their own challenges, everything like that. But what I'm saying to you is this. Why don't you challenge yourself? People do all these crazy challenges and stuff like that, and some are good and some are bad, and some of the stuff on is downright, in my opinion, potentially really crazy that you see some social media. But what about a personal challenge to get the most out, to reach your dreams and get the most out of yourself and stuff like that? And so that's kind of what I've been doing, and looking in the mirror and saying, John, you're at this point in your life. What do you want to do for your family? What do you want to do out of life? What are you going to make right now? How are you going to make the big impact? You want to be a superstar? You've done some great things. You have great skills. But you haven't hit that mountaintop yet. Well, you know what? It's time to get out that hiking gear. It's time to get out the pickaxe. It's time to get out the rappels. It's time to get out that climbing gear, because it's game time. I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but I got a nice plan. And I'm going to need partners. I'm going to need people to step up. I'm going to need people that want to work with me. I'm going to need people that want a winner. And we're going to roll the dice. We're going to figure it out. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to tell you all of it. But believe me, I got a plan. You best believe that I got a plan. And we're going to do it. And I'm going to take you on that journey. And as I take you on that journey, I hope it inspires you. I hope it gives you fuel to be the best that you can be, to do something, to do what you always wanted to do. Never let someone put you down and try to put you in a box and limit you, and negativity and all this stuff. No. It's your life. It's your choice. Listen, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I got to go out there. I got to hustle money. I got to do what I got to do, legally, ethically, morally, of course. And it's no silly. It's just like some people, like I was talking to my wife about this. I'll take this aside for a second, because this just came up, and it's just such an important point. I think it's like there's a lot of professions where it's like it's up and out. It's up or out. Consulting's like that, big laws like that. Something like if you're even like a few years out of law, like I haven't, like it just depends. Like if you're a big partner, you book a big, all these things you cap. Let's say you're a junior associate and you did like 1-2 years, and typical. So I think the numbers always change, but I mean it's pretty common for a lot of these, investment banking. These big things, you'd see the graduates, okay, yeah, from these top schools, and they get these salaries. Great, they get it for like a year or 2 or 3, and then they're gone. Like a third, half, 2/3, depends on the timing, the sector, wash out, right? And then what? If you've been away for 5 years, it's like you're not a lawyer anymore. You're not a banker anymore. You're not like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So now that's like big law, big firms, what you're seeing, and you saw the same thing in banking after the tech crash. You saw a lot of boutique banks pop up. You see the same thing now in law. You're seeing a lot of individual, people opening up their own offices. Well, guess what? If I know what I know, and I can charge half, or I'm not me. I'm just saying the hypothetical, lawyer, whatever like that, or consultant or whatever, or doctor or whatever, can charge half, whatever, as big company, big firm, big hospital, and still be making great money and providing great services. Like, in other words, the market works, right? Talent will find a way. The market will find a way. Efficiencies will find its way. Once again, it comes back to adding value. But what's so crazy to me is you've got all this talent here, and it's like people don't want to, like, it doesn't make any sense. I think there's huge opportunity. Like a lot of big companies, they want the AI, they want young graduates. They're maybe offshore, and they're always looking to cut costs, and labor is a big expense. But I flipped the script, dude. I haven't figured this out yet totally. I haven't figured out how I want to play it. How about that? But I think there's a massive opportunity for getting super talent in unconventional spaces, right? In contrarian plays. I think there's all kinds of, maybe retired talent. There's so much talent out there. If you can find a way to take that talent and deliver that to market, I think that could be amazing in that different space. I haven't figured that out. Anyway, I can't do everything. I gotta get the main job, and I'm going to be. Don't be surprised if I launch a course soon. If I launch a digital marketing company soon, don't be surprised at that. And they may just be those side hustles that I just kind of keep working on and grow and stuff like that. And then some things, just scale up. And once I do one, I might do many more, because I got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to share. And then once I have those things set, and so almost, boom, I'm going to start, bang, bang, bang. I'm going to start. Don't be surprised. Now, I promise, I don't want to guarantee anything, but don't be surprised. I have a plan. And don't be surprised if I start adding different businesses, different ownerships, different things like that. I'm going to get after it. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So I'm sure reality punched me in the face too. But you know what? I got a pretty good track record. I got a pretty good track record. But for now, pretty soon, we're going to start talking to the world and see who needs talent, because I'm ready. I'm ready for the right deal, but it's got to be the right deal. And you got to know what you have to know what it is. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. But I wanted to tell you, I'm very candid. I'm very straight up. I want to tell you about that. I want to take care of my journey as well. So yeah, looking forward to it. I hope this helped you some way, somehow. If you like this, please rate it up. Please comment on it. Please share it out there with your friends and stuff on social media, contacts. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification button. And what's going on in your life? What do you think? What's happening? And we've seen so many people out there that are, tech companies, different companies downsizing, recession, different things. How are you dealing with it? How are you looking at it? If you're an employer, what are you looking at? What are you doing? How do you get the best out of your team? What do you think makes sense? I think we need a conversation. I don't have all the answers. I have some answers, but I definitely know how to ask some of the questions. But yeah, it's an interesting time. It's always every day is a blessed day. And I want to learn, and I want to do better, and I want to go for broke. I want to see what's what. But you know what? People can say a lot of things about me, but I'm a super hard worker. I'm super talented, and I'm not afraid to roll the dice and bet on myself and put my money where my mouth is. That's what's up. And I know you appreciate that. So thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great night. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I'll talk to you in the comments. I'll see you next time.